People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, it is what it is. Arsenal have been in a poor bit of form. We dropped points against Wolves. It feels like a defeat. Continues on from dropping points against Palace and also Sheffield United. Sandwiched in between that. Obviously, we lost to Liverpool, which was a decent performance by our young players. But also, sandwiched in between our recent poor form was our 3-2 victory in the Europa League against Vitória. Now, we obviously played them on Wednesday in the return fixture. We got away with it, 3-2 victory at the EMERY'S. Obviously, the writing on the wall in the game didn't look great. I mean, could you imagine the headlines if they won that? Former Spurs lad Marcus Edwards comes to haunt us. Obviously, Pepe's 2 superb free kicks saved us. But that just shows where we've been. Yes, we made 10 changes. Yes, it was a different squad of sorts, but the issues have been there. We got to play them on Wednesday. It's a weird kickoff. Now, I'm probably going to watch that at work, people. I'm not going to lie to you lot. It kicks off at, 3:50? I mean, yeah, I'm going to be at work. I wish I wasn't, but I'm going to be at work, so I'm going to watch that there. But we've got to be careful now. Vitória have 0 points. We've got 9. We're in a fantastic position to advance to the next round. I would love to give as many young players another opportunity, because I do believe, I don't know nothing about Vitória, admittedly. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but when I think of an away game in Portugal, similar to Sporting last year, I think of passionate fans, becoming the 12th man, difficult atmosphere, and that's good for our young players to learn from. You saw how Xhaka came through that at Old Trafford and at Frankfurt in the specifically Europa League, Frankfurt, and a couple of other young players. I feel this could be of most benefit to them. I want to see them get opportunities like that. I'd love to see Martinelli start. Obviously, he understands Portuguese as well, so he might relish that a bit more as well because of the atmosphere or because of the language. I don't know if in Brazil, because of the language and stuff, did he tend to watch Portuguese football as well as the obvious? I don't know if he was watching it. But when I think of it, I think it's a tough. I think of the 12th man. I think difficult atmosphere. I think they make it. They get on top of their opponents and whatnot. I'd assume this team would be even more confident in front of their home fans, even more so because they put in an encouraging performance at the EMERY'S. Now, if you didn't know about Vitória, you do now. They clearly have some good technical base players. They're very comfortable starting attacks and they're very confident in the final third. They could have scored a crap load against us. And if I base it on last game, we have to assume that they're fast starters because from the first whistle, they were trying to score goals and they put together good moves. You saw Marcus Edwards give Tierney a bit of issues being direct and stuff like that. Tierney came out of it, but there's a lot to consider. Like, we just have to go out there and win. Like, we can't just look at the fact that they have no points. We've got 9. If we didn't need to use the previous game between the two as a reference point, but we need to go out there and do the job, people. We might as well see if there's anything statistically that stands out to really speak about. I should really have it to hand, people. So apologies, I'll keep doing this. It's really unprofessional, but just by looking, Vitória have only won 1 of their last previous 8 games with English sides in all comps. They last beat Aston Villa in 1983. Arsenal have only won 1 of their last 7 away games against Portuguese sides, losing 3 and drawing 3. Though it was their last such match at Sporting CP in last season's Europa League. So we need to fix up, people. We don't travel to Portugal well. This team, obviously for the first time since 1998, is trying to avoid 4 consecutive defeats in Europe. We're looking to win our first 4 Europa League group stage games. So that's a good bit of history, which if we do that, it'll be the first time we've won our first group stage games in either the Champions League or the Europa for just the second time, where, if you remember in 05-06, in which we sadly got to the final. I say sadly because you know how it ended. So yeah. And obviously you got the big boy Martinelli, people. 7 goals already, convincing performance against Liverpool. Was rewarded with some minutes in the Champions League, I wish, but in the league against Wolves. So he's probably the man we're looking at. 7 in 7 so far, or something. Well, not 7 in 7, but 7 goals. Pardon me, his statistics say Martinelli has scored in both his Europa League matches for Arsenal this season. The only player to score in each of his first 3 games in major European competition for the Gunners. Take a guess, people. Okay, you've made your guess. I'm going to say Marouane Chamakh now. That's a bit of a madness. Now, for me, I'd love to see Martinelli start. Who plays is a difficult one. I think it's too early for Xhaka to be brought in the team, but if I was to look at it as cynical as possible, people, with a tough Leicester game at the weekend, because we're away from home in Europe, and obviously Arsenal fans are going to travel, but it's not going to be the amount that will be at Leicester or definitely at the Emirates on the 23rd against Southampton. Could this be an opportunity for Emery to I wouldn't say blood Xhaka in, and I don't believe Xhaka should be back, but could it be a case of bringing Xhaka in and kind of softening the blow there so that it's not as much of a shock when he plays at the Emirates? To which it will be. We'll get booed, let's be honest. There will be boos, there will be jeers, there will be some teething issues. And obviously we do need to rest players as well. How much of a rest, I'm not too sure, because I think Ozil's raring to go. He's been starved of football. Torreira's not been allowed to complete 90 minutes. Pepe didn't play in the week. Again, I mean, at the weekend. You hear there's rumours of a knock, but he's ready to go. So, yeah, man, in regards to the lineup, it's a difficult one. I'm going to go with Martinez in goal, who needs to have a better game than in the week. Martinez in goal. Right back Hector Bellerin, of course. Left back Kolasinac. Centre halves, I'm going to go with Rob Holding, who needs to play better than his last outing. It'd probably be Mustafi, but I would probably go with... I'd bring Mavropanos in, you know. I don't know for Mavropanos' rehabilitation, but I just see someone always playing for the 23s and he's working his way back to fitness. Could he get a look in? I would play Mavropanos. I would probably even play Chambers at right back, because I wouldn't even play... I'd be playing Bellerin when the Leicester game comes. I think that time's there. But it'll probably be Mr. Mistake, Mustafi. So, yeah, man. I'm going to go with Mavropanos, but let's just say Mustafi. So, let's start again. You've got Martinez, you've got Kolasinac, you've got Bellerin, you've obviously got Holding and Mustafi, people in defence. Midfield, it's a difficult one, man. I think we need to rest Guendouzi. He had a poor game he's been playing well superbly this season. He had the odd poor game, but he needs to be rested. So that would be my team. Midfield, it's a difficult one. I'd say Lucas Torreira. You know what? I'd say Lucas. It'd probably be Xhaka as well, you know. But I'd say Lucas Torreira, Maitland-Niles, Mesut Ozil. Yeah. Lucas. You know what? Lucas Torreira, Maitland-Niles, Mesut Ozil through the 10. Up front, I'm going with Lacazette, Martinelli, and Pepe, people. Like Martinelli on the left, Pepe on the right, Lacazette through the middle, Tyrese John-Jules on the bench, Emile Smith-Rowe on the bench. Emile could actually come in for Ozil. I was actually the reason you saw that pause is because I was gonna say Emile, but then I thought about the front three. I mean, Martinelli picks himself. Pepe's been starved of football, so well, he's not played basically not played. You know what I'm saying. He hasn't played, so he might as well at least get 45, 60 minutes out of him. I want to see Reece Nelson on the bench as well. Had a good 45 minutes against Spurs at 23's level. Probably too early for him, but I would love to see Nelson and Mavropanos included in some capacity or at some point. So to recap my team, I'm going with Martinez. I'm going with Bellerin at right back, Kolasinac at left back. It would be Mavropanos for me, but let's go with Mustafi and Holding as our centre halves. In midfield, Maitland-Niles, Lucas Torreira, and Mesut Ozil, or Emile Smith-Rowe if possible. Up front, I'm going with Lacazette, I'm going with Martinelli, and I'm going with Pepe, people. Now, Maitland-Niles will probably play right wing, and Emile will probably start, in my opinion, but who knows? That's my lineup. So hopefully we win, people. It is what it is, man. And I'm not trying to disrespect this team, but I'm just thinking of that dreaded 5:30 kickoff this coming Saturday, next Saturday at 5:30 against a resurgent Leicester side that have scored 9 goals away from home, beating up sides at their place with anything they throw at them. It is quite scary, but we have to focus on this. We have a perfect record in the Europa League. Let's kind of continue that because we haven't got much more to cheer about. Hopefully the young players put in a convincing performance. Hopefully some people that haven't featured this season or have been injured get a look in. But it is what it is. We'll see you on Wednesday, man. People, Deluded, it's been a pleasure. I'm out, man. Thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest.